at the heart of what I do is a very simple idea. How can you be the obvious choice for your dream clients? How can they see that you are the real deal? And how do we shift the equation so they start chasing after you to get on your calendar and are excited to the possibility of working with you? That's what I'm here to share with you all today. Does that sound like a good use of your time? Please give me a quick yes in the chat below if you would like to be the obvious choice for your dream clients. Wonderful. So let me start by taking you back to the year 2021. I'm sitting in my office and I have a decision to make: to keep going or shut down my consulting business. I'd gone from being a burnt out, frustrated, unhappy executive to starting out on my own. I didn't want to feel like a passenger in my own life. I wanted to be firmly in the driver's seat. Possibly you can relate to that. And that's exactly what I did. I went out there and I had this belief that if I get great client results, I'll always have new clients waiting to work with me. So I go into the market, I tap into my network, I hustle, I do what it takes, and I bring in clients through the door. And for those clients, I produce transformative results. They couldn't stop talking about me. And there I was, fully committed, a master of my craft, over delivering for my clients. And I thought, I've made it. There's not going to be a line of clients waiting to work with me. I've finally been discovered. However, when I looked over my shoulder, there was nobody standing there. The truth of my business was that it was largely dependent on repeats, some referrals, and the one-off new client. And the part which broke me the most were what I call those boom and bust cycles. There's one time where money is pouring in. Clients are just walking in through the door, falling into my lap. But the next month or the next quarter, I'm anxious because I don't know where the next big sale is going to come from. Where is, like, if a client churns, if a client decides to pause, there's no one waiting to replace that. And it honestly wasn't even about the money. It was me feeling not good enough in those moments. That why can't I figure it out? I work so hard. I'm so good at what I do. My clients love me. So why do I have to go on this roller coaster? Why does my heart have to race when I look at my pipeline and there's not much action there? So one such night, I couldn't fall asleep and I was tossing and turning in bed. And I opened up LinkedIn and I did something I recommend nobody does. I went to the profile of a competitor who was doing so much better than me. I dipped into a spiral where, because it always seems like there's someone who may be getting booked more, someone who maybe has a packed calendar, like someone for whom it looks like things are just falling into place and they're racing ahead. And then there I was, sitting in bed, scratching my head, looking at the profile of a competitor and trying to figure out what the hell I was doing wrong. And after what felt like a season of desperation, because yes, I was desperate, I had to make it work. And I honestly believed that I deserve more. And as I was looking at the profile of that competitor, wondering what he's doing that I am not doing, it finally dawned on me. I got that flash, I got the realization, I got the message. And this is something which I wish I knew the first day I got started in my business, which is it's not the best who wins, it's the one with the best marketing. And that, for me, was the truth. The writing was on the wall, and I decided to step into the driver's seat of my business. Because it's not the best who wins, it's the one with the best marketing. And from that day, I dedicated myself to being the best at marketing. Today, I know where my next client, the client after that, and the client after that will come from. And that's the essence of what I'm here to share with you today. Now, this is probably our first time meeting with each other. So if you may be wondering that who is this guy? You just saw him appear in your virtual meeting, title looked nice, you showed up over here, but who really is this guy? So let me introduce myself as well. I'm Shantanu Verma, and I'm on a mission, which is to help amazing experts like you who are so committed, who are so true to their craft, to get fully booked without those boom and bust cycles that so many of us silently suffer from today. And I have a deal to make with you. For the next 25 odd minutes that we have together, you play all out with me. And in return, I will solve or at least give you some very powerful advice on how to grow your business. This could be through my presentation, this could be through a coaching hot seat, which I will do after I finish. But here's the deal. You play all out, and I ensure that when you walk away from this session today, you are energized and you know exactly what to do to grow your business. Sounds like a good deal? Please give me a quick hand raise or a quick yes. Wonderful. The first story that I have for you today starts with chocolate chip cookies. Now imagine this. It's a blistering hot day. There are over 100 homes in the neighborhood, and you have to go door to door selling chocolate chip cookies. Now, most likely, by the end of the day, you would be sweaty, you would be frustrated, and you would feel rejected because a lot of the doors that you will knock on won't open for you. Some of them may even ask you to walk away. Some may politely entertain you, but then refuse you. Very few from all these doors you will knock on will actually say, wow, chocolate chip cookies, let me buy a bunch of them for my family. Now, in this situation, what if I told you the 10 doors to go knock on? That here are big families with a lot of children, and they would love to have some chocolate chip cookies. How would it feel to not spend wasting your time with unqualified prospects, people who don't see your value, people who would just shoo you away, and just go to those 10 doors where you know that you will make a sale? How would that feel? There's a client of mine, his name is John. He works in Singapore as a sales coach for Fortune 500 software businesses. And he comes to me and he says, Shantanu, on the outside, I have a very, very successful business. But on the inside, it's a very different story. 65% of his revenue came from one client account. Now, yes, this client account loved him. They kept on giving him business year on year. But what made him afraid was that tomorrow, if budgets change, if the decision maker changes, if there's just a shift in priority, what if they pull back from the spending they were doing with him? What if something goes wrong and 65% of his business just vanishes? That was his fear. Because a lot of times, coaches or consultants or trainers, They keep on shuffling between the same 2 to 3 or 4 to 5 accounts, and that's the bulk of their business. So we had to solve this problem. And here's what we didn't do. We didn't jump into the marketing rabbit hole. We didn't go and start publishing videos on LinkedIn, didn't start spraying emails all over the internet. We didn't go and do outreach campaigns, run paid media advertising. We did not go down the marketing rabbit hole because it's not what it's promised to be. Instead, what we did is create a strategic relationship map. So this one client account, which contributed around 65% of his revenue, we made a list of all the champions and decision makers that he's engaged with during his time with that account. Everyone whose lives he impacted positively as a result of his sales coaching. We took that Excel sheet and then we opened up LinkedIn. We opened up Sales Navigator and we uploaded that list. And we asked one very simple question. Hey, LinkedIn, who from this list, who already likes, knows, and trusts John over here, is now working at a different Fortune 500 organization who could potentially give business to John? So we uploaded that full list onto LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It did its thing. It went round and round and round and round and round, and it gave us back 20 prospects. And here are 20 people who worked with John before, now work at a different Fortune 500 and could potentially give him business. We sat that list, we pruned it down to 10. When we reached out to these 10 people, their doors were not shut and they did not say come back later. They were happy to hear from our client. And within that quarter, he opened up into 2 new Fortune 500 accounts. Just by strategically looking at his relationship, seeing who's moved and reaching out to them. But we were not done there yet. Here's the second thing we did. Because one thing that many people don't know about LinkedIn is that you can spy into somebody else's network and use that strategically. So what we did is to use this feature here is that. So this account, which contributed the most to his revenue, the country manager of Asia Pacific was probably his best relationship. Think of this to be the speaker booker who gives you a bulk of your bookings or a client you've been servicing for a lot of time. So we went into LinkedIn and said, hey, LinkedIn, spy into the network of this one decision maker and tell me, who does he know who is equally senior but in a different geography? So LinkedIn went round and round and round, and it produced a list of 5 individuals that we could possibly ask for a warm introduction to. Now, the next time John walked in for a meeting with this particular decision maker, he didn't go in and say, hey, I need more business. Can you refer me to somebody, anybody you know? He wasn't weak like that. He said, I looked into your LinkedIn, and here are 5 people in your company. Could you introduce me to any of them? Now, he goes through that list. First one, don't know him. Second one, too senior. Third one, no, I can't. But as you know where this is heading, the fourth was a yes. And he got introduced to the head of L&D for Asia. The fifth was a yes, who is a country manager for Australia and New Zealand. He gets introduced, and within the next 3 months, he gets onboarded as a vendor and gets their first deals coming in from those 2 new geographies. So what did we do here? By strategically looking at his relationships, making LinkedIn do all the heavy lifting, we opened up into 2 new client accounts and 2 new geographies within his existing account without making a single piece of content on LinkedIn or even doing anything that all the marketing gurus are prescribing to you because it worked for them, but it may not work for you. The truth is that all of you today are sitting on a gold mine. There's easily an extra $100,000 just sitting in your network, but just hiding somewhere behind a corner. And by creating a strategic relationship map is how you bring that into your bank account. Now I'm going to take this home with an example from a speaker. Let's call her Pam. She is a keynote speaker on leadership. Honestly, there was nothing so special about the topic she spoke on because leadership is a commodity today. But she was very passionate about what she spoke on. It was her life's purpose, and she wanted to share that message with as many people as possible. She saw a lot of her competitors getting booked to speak in the Middle East, and she was listed on all the bureaus. But guess what? She got nothing from them because, as you may know, that bureaus today have their insider agreements. They have their favorites. They like to pick and choose. And maybe a fraction of the people who list with the bureau actually get business from one. So here was Pam, amazing at what she does, listed with all the bureaus, but getting no business. So all she had was her hustle and her network. So here's what we did, which booked her 5 highly paid speaking gigs in less than 60 days. We went to her LinkedIn and we took a brave decision of bypassing the bureaus completely. We made a list of in her first level connections on LinkedIn. Who are the conference producers? Who are the event producers? We made that list. Then we pruned it to make sure they're exactly the right kind of conference organizer. And then exactly what we did is went to their website. The second step we did is we went and saw who has events coming up in the next 12 months for whom Pam is a great fit to speak in. We made a shortlist, after which we reached out to them on LinkedIn saying, I know you have an event coming up in this month, and here's why Pam is an amazing speaker. And with that simple outreach activity, by just doing 2% extra than all the other speakers, going into a network directly to the conference producer, telling them why for this event you have coming up in 2 months, Pam is a great speaker, her pipeline got buzzing and she booked her first 5 gigs in the Middle East. That's the power of a strategic relationship map. Now, if you have any questions about how you can do this, I welcome you to share them in the chat. But if there's one thing you take away from this, is that strategically look at your relationships. That itself will get you your next big stream of clients. So that was exclusively for speakers, but I'm sure a lot of you today in the crowd are trainers, coaches, consultants. Let's do a quick check. How many of you here are today trainers, coaches, or consultants? Give me a quick hand raise, please. Wonderful. So, I'm seeing the hand raises pop on my screen. Wonderful. So, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard of this cartoon called Where's Waldo or Where's Wally? So we all know by looking at Waldo over here that he has a unique identity. There's only one Waldo, right? But if I showed you this picture over here, can you find Waldo or find Wally over here? He's absolutely lost in this crowd. Now, just like Waldo here blends into the scenes, gets lost in all the noise, that's what happened to me on LinkedIn for the longest time. It almost feels like it's this big fish market, right? Where everybody's shouting that, hey, look at me, or look at me, I have this, I have that. You made $1 million, I made $10 million. That's how people are on LinkedIn today. And within all that noise, like Waldo here, I was unique, but I was lost. So the question I ask myself is, How do I show clients that I am the real deal? How do I make them want to come onto my calendar and understand that, hey, I want to work with this guy? And today, every day in my inbox, I have inquiries from people who want to work with me, who want to know more about what I do. And this was possible using a strategy I call the micro offer. And this is based on a marketing principle I call the 30-3-30 persuasion principle. I'm going to walk you through this right now. So the first step of this principle is that in your conversion funnel, are you able to capture a prospect's attention for the first 30 seconds? Because that is where your funnel actually starts. Are you able to capture a prospect's attention for the first 30 seconds? Now, on the right here is an example of Ricardo, who is a keynote speaker, who is reaching out to me for a LinkedIn strategy review. Now, how I capture a prospect's attention for the first 30 seconds is saying, how about I take a look at your LinkedIn and tell you what to change in your messaging so more prospects get attracted to you? That's what got Ricardo's 30 seconds of attention and made him reach out to me. The second question is, are those 30 seconds leading to an additional 3 minutes of engagement? The example here, with Justin, I shared his LinkedIn strategy review, which was for around 3 minutes. And he says, I love your advice and would love to be a part of your community. So what's happened over here? Very, very quickly, I'm slowly becoming the prospect, the person that Justin wants to work with the day he has a need. So are those 30 seconds leading to an additional 3 minutes of engagement? And are those 3 minutes compelling enough for the prospect to ask you for a 30-minute meeting? Like Suzanne over here, who was like, hey, when are you free on EST? Monday or Tuesday? Let's book a time. I want to speak with you. And that's how we switch the power equation. Now, I'll give you two quick examples of others who are using the same strategy of a micro offer. And we can even brainstorm one for you at the end of our time today. Let's assume you're a speaking or communications coach. Now, instead of creating videos and giving tips and all of those things, what if you said that, hey, send me a 30-second voice note of you speaking, and I'll critique it so you sound more confident? This is a no-brainer offer for the right client. Or let's assume that you are a growth coach for SaaS businesses. Your micro offer can be, can I review your trial or demo and share possible drop-off points where you are losing customers? Now, the essence here is, what is a no-brainer yes for your dream clients that makes them excited to engage with you? So when you look at your conversion funnel today, LinkedIn is just the tip of the iceberg. When you see an iceberg, a tiny part of it is out, the biggest part of it is under. And that's how your funnel is. The only role of your LinkedIn is to get those 30 seconds of a prospect's attention, to 3 minutes of engagement, and then to 30 minutes of a conversation. And if these pieces are not dialed in your conversion funnel right now, then most likely you're leaving leads and therefore money on the table. That is, in essence, the micro offer. I'm going to take a quick pause over here and do a temperature check. Are there any questions you have about the relationship map or the micro offer? Any questions you have, or it's going good, go ahead and give me the next strategy, which is possibly my favorite one. So if you're ready to go ahead, just give me a quick hand raise. In case you have a question, you can put it in the chat. Okay, wonderful. So till now, I have shared with you two strategies. The first is the strategic relationship map, and the second is the micro offer. And now I'll be sharing the third one with you, which is my personal favorite. So it's my first anniversary. I go to my wife and I say, "Hello, love, what can I gift you today?" And in a flash, in less than a second, the reply comes back, a Louis Vuitton bag. And I ask her, why? And she gives me the dirtiest look, right? And she says, "What do you mean, why? It's a Louis Vuitton bag." And the wonderful husband that I am, I did get it for her, and my wallet became a lot lighter after that. But what I took away from that is an insight into how B2B decision making works. When I went to her and I asked her what she wants, she did not go on Google and type great anniversary gift ideas. She did not compare Louis Vuitton to all the other brands out there. She didn't even for a second consider another option. She went straight to it. And in B2B decision making, exactly what happened here. The sale happened a long time ago. Only the transaction took place now. When your prospect has a need, who do they go for? They don't hire someone random from LinkedIn. They go and hire the person who they already trust, the one they see showing up, the one they see sharing insights, giving support, speaking in conferences. They have already chosen who they want to do business with. For example, now going back to my slides, this is a very fascinating study by Forrester that said that engaging a B2B buyer early in the decision-making process can increase win rates by 77%. But that's only a statistic, right? You can't feel statistics. How would it feel for you instead to get a comment like this on the content which you are creating? To be so powerful that an event director tells you that now I am interested to work with you. It's simple but rare. How can I book you? Are you interested to speak in my events? Now, who here would like to get messages like this coming into their inbox? Give me a quick yes in the chat, please. If you would like to be the obvious choice to the people who you want to work with are sending you such messages, asking to work with you. So now I'm going to show you how to become the obvious choice for your prospects on LinkedIn with a very simple case study. A client of ours put in $1,000 into advertising on LinkedIn. In return, 5 clients out. So $1,000 in, 5 clients out. And here's the exact LinkedIn funnel that made this happen. And this is something you can start today for as little as $10 a day. Let me show it to you. What you have in front of you here today is the obvious choice framework. Step number 1 here is attract. And to be honest with you, it's nothing new. You've heard this for 100 times, right? But sadly, a majority of people don't follow good advice. At times, when we talk about ourselves, when we articulate our value, we make it all about our skills, that I can do A, B, C, and D. But in that, we become selfish because it's not about the instruments, it's about the beautiful symphony they're produced together. You have to articulate your value from the client's perspective, not from your own articulation of what you do. So the first step here is map out your dream prospects. So conference producers who specialize in leadership and sales events who've at least spent 3 years in the business. Map out that dream prospect of yours, which is attractive. The second stage is authority, right? Optimize your profile so when they come to it, you look legit. You look like the one who can solve their problem. You look like the perfect match. And to accelerate that, you create authority building content. It could be short videos, newsletters, written posts. Now, as I said, you've heard these two before. It's nothing new. But where it changes completely is in the third stage that we call amplify. The shelf life today of a great LinkedIn post is at most 3 hours, unless it decides to randomly go viral. So what we do here in the amplify stages, LinkedIn launched something new called thought leadership advertising, which in its simplest is take your best content, give LinkedIn $10 a day, and it'll bring this content in front of your ideal prospects. So let's say a conference producer logs into LinkedIn. Day one, they log in, they see your speaker show reel. Day two, they see a client case study. Day three, they see a personal story. Day four, something else. Day five, something else. Now, day by day, they buy into your authority and it's all automatic. It's set it and forget it. That is the biggest game changer. Familiarity is how you win the B2B sale. And once you have your content in front of them every day, that's when you acquire them. That's when you get messages like this coming in to work with you. By being the obvious choice, find your prospects, optimize your LinkedIn, create some good content, and pay LinkedIn $10 a day to bring it in front of your ideal prospects. And you will get your inbox buzzing with new potential clients. That is how you become the obvious choice. That is how you step into the driver's seat. Because the one thing you take away from this is, it's not the best who wins. It's the one with the best marketing. Now, at the start, I'd share a metaphor with you, which is, I didn't want to be a passenger in my life. I wanted to be in the driver's seat. But that metaphor is broken. There's a missing piece in that metaphor. And that missing piece is the humble GPS. You may be in the driver's seat. You may be making a lot of effort today on your business. You may be making these great plans for the next year. But if you do not have the right GPS, you will not get to your destination. So what I would like to do for you here today is two things. The first is I would like to share something with you which could possibly be that GPS and help you find your direction. So two things. Number one is, and how much ever time we have left, I would love to give you a coaching hot seat where we can go into your LinkedIn and see what has to change in your positioning or your funnel. So you're able to attract more prospects who see you as the obvious choice. I've also got this amazing playbook that has 9 specific strategies you can read and go through. So you get some more of a glimpse into what's possible for you if you choose to go all out. So that was what I had for you today. The strategic relationship map, the micro offer, and the obvious choice framework. If anybody would love a coaching hot seat right now, I'd be happy to do it with them. Or if you want to read the playbook, which has all of my lead gen strategies, you can let me know in the chat and I'd happily share it with you. Thank you so much for your time today.